Hello, and welcome back to 33 Conversations podcast. I'm your host, Michael Abney, and today I'm joined by Maggie. Maggie is a founder of Sesh Co-working. And Maggie, I want to start by naming something quietly brave about you and welcome you to the show. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Something that's quietly brave about me, I don't shy away from awkward conversations.
Mm.
Um, and it makes people really uncomfortable.
I get it. I feel you on that. I just want to let the world know that you're building a space for other people to belong while quietly, actively questioning that internal voice that tells you you're not enough. A lot of people wait for that voice to go away before they step forward with their life, and you chose to not do that. You chose to build anyway. And what I'm curious about today is it about the co-working as a model. It's about who you're becoming as you let go of that inner narrative that no longer gets to run the show for you. So let me open this up with what transformation are you in the middle of right now?
Oh my gosh, this has been a multi-year transformation for me. It probably started when my daughter was at the end of third grade. So that would have been, gosh, what year are we in? We're in 2026, so 4 years ago. So
Mm-hmm.
kind of coming out of COVID, right? She was getting bullied at her school, which escalated to being physically attacked, and it took a toll not just on her, right, but then also on me as her mom, because I felt like I wasn't protecting her. And I felt like that's my number one job. Um, and eventually we got her out of that school. We got her into a new school. And as soon as she entered that new school, I felt like this huge, like, okay, we're all fine, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
I got deathly ill and I ended up in the hospital for 3 weeks. I had a major bacterial infection. I had to have emergency surgery to save my life. And I came out of that like, this isn't working. Like, what I've been doing, like, I thought I was okay. It's not working. I have to, like, stop, break the system. And so in the last year, I've been doing that. And what I realized in that work was that the voice in my head is not nice to Maggie. Um, and that I wouldn't want that for my daughter. Not after when someone was externally not nice to her and physically not nice to her. So, like, I need to do it not just for myself, but for her too. And so that transformation right now looks like trying to talk nice to myself, even when it sounds completely silly. And
Yeah,
even when I maybe don't fully believe it. Um, and that's hard.
it is. And it's like we're, being on the brink of something and it gets louder. Like as the closer you get to like the thing or the breakthrough or that noise just gets um, deafening and it makes you want to retreat. It makes you want to like cow down. It makes you want to like just surrender and not even surrender, but like give up.
Yeah.
And yeah, thank you for pointing out something that we all deal with as a human being. That's a part of our, for whatever reason, that damn thing's there. Getting back to that observer space where we're observing it and choosing something different, something nicer, and something not so bullying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that too.
You're welcome.
When we go back to the origin of your story, um, you talked to me about a bubble that you grew up in whenever you were a kid. What did that teach you about safety and self worth?
Um, Everything. I mean, it like, I I grew up in the Midwest. My parents were divorced. My dad lived in the city in St. Louis, and my mom lived on a 400-acre farm in Illinois. Cows, pigs, tractors, the whole thing. So it was a very different. The two halves of my life were very different. And they were even more so different because my mom was very loving and supportive,
Mm-hmm.
and my father was an alcoholic, a pill popper, and mentally and emotionally abusive. Nothing I could ever do was ever enough. It was never good enough. And that's, I feel, the origin story of the bully that lives in my head, that I I knew um I knew after a certain point that college was going to be my only way to get out. That like if I didn't go to college somewhere far enough away, I would never get away from him. Um, and so when college replies started showing up at the house, he and I had a knockdown drag out, and he disowned me because he thought I needed to go into the military. And I was like, nope, not happening. You don't get to choose my path. I do. Um, and so he disowned me. I went and I tried to live with my mom, but I had never lived with my mom. So I kind of ended up living with my grandma. And that was the first time I got out of my own bubble. Um, and then I entered another bubble, which I didn't realize was an even smaller one, which was a town of 4,200 people in Illinois, like
I so relate to that. Um, that did it occur to you like narcissism or a narcissist when that was going on?
no.
Because that's what it is.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Had not even connected the word any way, shape, or form until like 6 months before he died.
Yeah, I mean,
Same thing. Like the
I,
second that you saw through or questioned or did anything, it was a big, huge hissy fit and you're out. Like that's it. Like, so my college was getting in the car and going to St. Louis, which is, I grew up in the country on the other side of Missouri. So it's like our stories are so connected, so similar.
yeah.
But my college was coming to St. Louis and getting a job and starting in life here, that I thought that bubble that I popped out of, I thought it was my own bubble, but I didn't realize till later on that a lot of that bubble still had those internal voices from the original bubble. Did you have that experience as well?
Oh, yeah.
Or what was your experience when you went to college?
So when I went to college and I graduated, I went back to that small town where the farm was, and I realized, oh my gosh, I'm one of 80 people who graduated high school and college
Mm-hmm.
who didn't get married, who didn't get pregnant or have a baby. Like, I did that. Like,
Wow.
I'm like one of the only people who did that from my graduating class in high school. And I would go back and I realized that I was nothing like the people I graduated high school with. The girls no longer liked me because I I think they thought I thought I was better than them, and that I had changed, and I
Mm-hmm.
did. I, we went and lived different lives, but then that was when I realized, like, I think I need to leave. Like, like one of these things is not like the other. And that was me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so it was another like, okay, I don't want to get trapped here. And that's how it felt. It felt like another trap of a life that like I didn't want. I didn't know what I wanted, but I knew it wasn't that. Um and so I think I've let that be a little bit of a guiding principle for me, um, is that I know I don't want that. but I don't know what it is that I do
You still
want.
do want. Yeah.
Right. And so then it makes me question, well, how can I do it differently? And I even, as a parent, I approach that with my daughter, right? Because I'm breaking the cycle of abuse. You know, my dad was abused by his dad. I'm breaking the cycle of alcoholism and addiction because that was a generational thing. And so it's like, well, how do I not do that? It's just kind of been what I do. I don't know.
How did that tumble into the love for community? And um, s- when did that domino connect for you? Like what part of the
Yeah,
path?
it so I've moved a lot, like 40 plus times. Lived in 6 different states, East Coast, West Coast. Now I say I live on the best coast, um, down here in Texas. But it in moving, I realized I picked up on a pattern. And that pattern was it took me about 18 months every time I moved to kind of figure out what the local spots were that were my jam. And then like I would meet people in those spots. And so then that just kind of became the pattern. And eventually I did that while owning a business and somehow started a chamber of commerce. And
You
realized,
did?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
pretty cool.
Um,
Wow.
I kind of realized that that pattern recognition applies to community building, and the chamber ultimately ended up being very successful. It's still run. We moved from one village in Westchester County to supporting 5 villages, and then when we made that move from New York to Houston, I was like, well, that was cool and that worked. So I'm definitely doing that again. And so it kind of became a superpower I didn't know that I had. And I think that that comes from, if we want to go back to the origin story, right? I think that that comes from being disowned and losing half of my family. And you know, my dad had married a woman who had a huge family. You know, her parents were like her dad had like 9 siblings and her mom had 9 siblings. And so like the holidays was like 100 plus people. And then I like moved to my mom's side of the family and like we don't do holidays. Like there's no family. You know, so it just becomes like this like dearth of nothingness. And so I kind of set out to just always make sure I'm surrounding myself with people who kind of fill that void that I have. Um, and it's a chosen void. Um, but I like the people that I bring into my life.
It's like your
Um,
chosen family.
yeah.
Yeah. Definitely know what that's like. Um, and it's just how life puts those people into, or the universe puts those people into your life. And like, I have when I did hair, my assistant, my very first one, well, she was my only one. She walks in at 19 and, she's my sister now. Like her mom passed away and we adopted her and like, she's just as much my sister as my sister. So
Yeah.
I have 2. But that's family's not blood. It's something different. It's like the true core family that is a bond that we create. So families that bond was created in your mind, I think,
Yeah.
or in all of our perceptions. Because like, how are the holidays now for you? Since you brought that up, is it do you still like a lot of people around you during the holidays, or
Yeah, I
what?
do. I end up hosting a lot. And
Yeah.
I tend to host for other people who don't have family. And I just bring people together. Or I go to somebody else's house and have the holiday with them. And it's been inspiring and empowering since we've had our daughter. She's 12 and a half now. But to be like, oh my gosh, I get to make up the family traditions. Like, what?
Hmm.
Like, I could just Like, I could literally just make this shit up.
Yeah, that's what they
You know,
did.
I right, I know, but, like, I get to, right? And
I
so that's
know.
so empowering, and it reinforces that, like, "Oh, well, I don't wanna do it that way, so how do I wanna do it?" You know? And so it's like every
That
holiday, whether it's Easter or Thanksgiving or Christmas, like that holiday morning, I wake up and I make cinnamon rolls. Yeah, they're cinnamon rolls from a can, but it's that my daughter knows that every holiday, mom makes cinnamon rolls for breakfast, right? And like
mhm.
it's that consistency. And I think
It
when you were
is.
when you were talking about chosen family and how it wasn't blood, what I heard was that it's a vibration. It's an energy, right? And
Yeah.
it's that positive and negative kind of like electrical pull between you and someone else that like when they're feeling down, you're up, so you give to them and then vice versa. Um, and so yeah, that was
Well, how do you do that consciously with your daughter now? Like, do you talk about this? Do you, I'm sure you did when you were growing up because nobody talked about anything, but like
right.
you do, and I love the formula. I'm starting to see the pattern too. It's like you don't know, you know that you don't know, and let's try something different. Not that you're trying to know something different. I love your viewpoint on this and your perception on this because you're keeping everything open as a possibility. I have a tendency to, I know that doesn't work, but I'll formulate something else and that can become the next same trap. And you sort of keep that open. How does that play into, first, I want to talk about your daughter, but then I want to talk about how that plays into what you're building with the co working spaces.
Yeah,
How that, yeah,
it's really hard to talk to a 12-and-a-half-year-old just in general right now.
just in
Uh,
general.
yeah. But I do try, you know, especially for example, when she was being bullied, um, I tried to instill in her that it's not this little girl's fault that she's treating you this way. She's learning this at home. Someone's treating her this way. And so when she comes to school, she's just acting the same way because she thinks that's normal and she doesn't know any different. No one has taught her to question it. And I
Wow.
was like, you, on the other hand, when you come home, mommy and daddy are very nice and loving and supportive, and we give you hugs. And if you need space, we give you space. We don't hit each other. We don't scream nasty names at one another. Um, and so you know different. And so now when this other little girl is treating you this way, you question it. You go, why? Right. And so um that's in that scenario, that's how I taught her. In this scenario right now, I just get an eye roll, um, which is
She will
fine.
appreciate that. She
Yeah,
will
she
appreciate that.
and you know
Yeah.
what? It's a period of time. It's not for forever that she's gonna
No, no. It's, but my God, what a powerful way to communicate that with compassion, because I would think most parents would be very defensive and want to, like, go and meet with force, which would just make it worse or separate even further.
yeah.
And you're not doing that. How
No.
does that translate to um, what you do every day?
Yeah, so that translates into, showing up for compassionately for people. You know, I try to teach my team who works the front desk at the co-working space that there are going to be people who book the conference room and they book the conference room for 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. and they show up at 10 a.m. and they want to be in the conference room and getting ready. And it's like, well, that's not when you booked it. And then they get mad, right? And it's like they're not, or the angry maybe is a better word. And I was like, you have to understand that they they've obviously not planned a lot of meetings. They've not booked a lot of conference rooms, so they just don't know. And I was like, "So we kind of have to be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I can get you in another conference room at this time. Would you like to switch there?" And just kind of um, pivot to problem solving and resonating, kindness back to them. And then that usually de-escalates the situation. There are times where people just don't want to hear it. Um, and that's usually where I have to like pop my head around the corner and be like, "Hey, I'm the owner. What can I do with you?" You know, it's
Yeah, nothing is more upsetting than a thwarted expectation. So, yeah, it's crazy that people are, yeah, it is what it is. But the energy, but you just did it. I can see your formula now. That's awesome. Like, that's not working. And can we do about it? Yeah,
yeah.
it shows
And I
up
mean,
everywhere, doesn't it?
it does, and it's harder to do that when you yourself aren't coming from a place that's like regulated, right? And so I think that that's why we do see people in the co-working space who do get angry or super frustrated, like at the drop of a hat, like something doesn't go their way, like there's a accident on the highway. And so they show up 30 minutes late for their meeting, but they didn't call to tell us why they were going to be late. But then they're mad at us when we're like, well, you know, you only booked the space, so you only have 30 minutes left in your reservation. Like, I'm so sorry you were stuck in traffic. We can extend it for you if that's what you need. But I think when we see that level of frustration where it just like switches, I tell my team they're dysregulated and like
Wow,
they're
that's so.
because like
That's
that's not
just,
a normal response, right? Like
yeah.
to
And
snap at somebody because you're late.
this is something we got to start talking about, like, openly, about our nervous systems. It is so. I told you my last podcast was like the biggest breakthrough ever. So I've had this. It's been recurring because of I've seen the need for community, creating community in a way where um, we're not reacting, we're not resisting, like these universal principles of energy are not just some to put on your refrigerator, like they really apply in real life.
Yeah.
And what you resist persists is no joke. And if you hate what's happening in life, i.e. an accident or what you're seeing on television, yes, resisting it causes the persistence of it. And
Yeah.
so it totally takes you out of the now, which I call when you're not regulated, and in that space where there's no space between the emotion and the expression. And
Yeah.
it's just like, and yet there's people on the planet. We all have to learn, and we got to start talking about it out loud and what that really means, and practicing it in real time. It's as simple as
Yeah.
like just crawling back into your body a little bit,
Yeah.
and being there for somebody. But your point about the compassion, though, is so, like, holding that, and understanding that that's because of something else that's going on within that person, and not, and just open space. It's like, forgive them for they not know what they do. Like, that just keeps popping in my head. Is that grace? It's grace. It's
Yeah.
grace, for ourselves and for other people.
Definitely.
Yeah. What was that moment when you realized that that inner voice wasn't protecting you, it was limiting you?
Mm. It probably hit me in November of last year, so just a few months ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm leaning in.
Yeah. I I got business divorced at the beginning of 2025. And I've spent the whole of 2025 re-engineering all of our procedures and operations, implementing AI so our systems can talk to one another. And I felt like I had gone through a really dark tunnel, and I entered the tunnel not knowing if there was going to be light at the other end of it. And then I saw the
Mm.
light and I came out of that tunnel about the beginning of November, right? And I was like, okay, we're going to tackle marketing in 2026. We're going to go into another tunnel. I don't want to feel like there's no light at the other end of the tunnel. And so I was like, well, what's making me feel that way? And
Yeah.
what's making me feel like that is that I think I can't. And like, why do I think I can't? Because that's what's resonating up here. And so I was like, wait, I'm not going to be able to if if I'm telling myself that. Like, I'm literally in my own way. And I was like, well, that's got to stop.
Ding, formula. Yes.
Yeah.
But the fact that you can even do that, that is amazing. That's a skill set. That's a skill set. I'm so
Yeah.
fascinated by this. Keep going. I love it.
Yeah. And so I was like, well, okay, how am I going to do that? Right. And so it was kind of in the holiday season. And I missed all the holidays in 2024 because I was ill and in the hospital. So this holiday season, I wanted to be really intentional. I had a party. I invited all the people who helped me throughout the year, all the people who I had grown beautiful friendships with. We celebrated Christmas, and I was like, okay, between Christmas and New Year's, I'm going to come up with a plan or a strategy or something that's going to like get me like out of my own way. And you know what
Hmm.
happened?
What happened?
I had a house fire instead.
Okay.
Yeah, literally woke up 2 days after Christmas to the smoke detectors. Um, got the fire out. Everyone's fine. The dogs are fine. The house has lots of smoke damage. My dog started the fire. And I know. He got up on the
How?
stovetop. He turned the gas burner on. And
Oh, 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 wow.
yeah. I didn't even know that that
I
was
mean,
a thing. I didn't know that that was like
I've got a little cockapoo, and it's like incredible. Like he's only, X tall, but like when their legs, they can get,
they
he
get
can get,
tall.
and I swear he can move stuff with his mind too. Like he can move little sandwiches with his mind.
They're like, "Oh, I see that. It's mine. Come here."
Oh, wow. Oh my God. I never thought of that.
And so I was like, "Okay, this is a lot." But I said to my husband and my daughter, I was like, "You know what? I feel like this is the world telling me like I am a phoenix and I'm going to rise from the ashes." Even like through being displaced and not developing the strategy that I thought I was going to develop, but then also being like, oh my God, this is really stressful and I still have to work and I don't have any utensils or a salt and pepper shaker or things like that, and being like, I need to just go meditate. And like, I had never done that before. And so it's just like, okay, I'm going to do that. And so now that's what I do every day. I've only been doing it for, since the beginning of the year. Um,
Isn't it
but it's
amazing?
it's amazing. And it's like, I don't know, had the fire not happened, that I would have responded as quickly to needing to meditate. Like, I think it would have taken me
Hmm.
longer to get there, uh,
Yeah.
be, because of the high stress situation that I was in. And it's almost
Yeah.
like I told the world I needed a strategy, and the world was like, okay, and shoved it in my face. Um,
Same. I totally, when my dad died, that I was like, I knew I'd tried it like a million times and never lasted. I'm like, I'm signing up for a certification course. I'm going to get certified because I know that way I'll literally do it. And that's what I did. It was 90 days. And then that started, I do different ones all the time, but I'm always some form of, and I now can some sort of meditation. I love exploring all of them because it's in so many different forms.
Yeah.
Like it's really just taking time to stop and like clear yourself and but you have to recognize your superpower is is something's not working right now. Like this morning, my podcast, I woke up and I'm like, how can I do today? It's so much, and it started to get in my head and all the other things that I thought I needed to worry about today. And it was like, nope, just drop in. And it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Simple, but beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing that to the table. That's so
You're welcome.
crucial. So this has been since the beginning, almost a month now.
Yeah.
How, what, what's different now that was at the beginning of the year because of this?
Yeah. I'm a lot. It's again, it's like that expediting of understanding. Ooh, I'm feeling a little off. What do I need to do? What do I need to like? Do I need to take a moment? Do I need to like go for a walk? You know, can't always find a place to meditate, right? It's not always convenient, but I can listen to a song and I can sing along like as loud as I want to in my car and it'll make me feel way better, right? And it's
Mhm.
just um made me a lot more aware a lot faster versus kind of like letting it build.
Yeah.
Um that
Yeah.
I don't
It's like
I
it,
don't have to let it build.
yeah. It doesn't have to go into a breakdown. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yay. Good. Win. Check.
Yeah, exactly.
how do you how do you feel now like going into 2026 with your does it feel like you're going in a tunnel now or no?
Well,
Because you
so
said
it's
you wanted to
funny.
be fun and yeah.
No, because I was like, I'm going to make this marketing strategy. And then it's just like, it's happening without me. Like, I'm like, oh my God, this is happening and I need to do this. I'm like, oh, this is marketing. And look at this collaboration and partnership that's happening over here. And it's just like, it's just happening. And I'm like, oh, yes. You know what I
More
mean? Like,
please. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
so it's just like,
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, I'm doing the thing where I'm like just being open to it. Um, let's see where it goes.
Beautiful. I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you for today. This has really been really fun and I learned so much about I'm actually going to start looking for, well, I'm I I'm taking on your pattern. Like that pattern recognition. I love just that the awareness of the break and that it's like everything's possible the second that you get oh
Right.
yeah, like you caught yourself because like when like in therapy or something when you catch yourself actually doing the thing that breaks that loop and so that's a great loop breaker what you just did. I'm taking that on because I'm
Yeah.
totally aware when shit's not working out right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like right there. But for my closing question I want to give you to answer is if someone's listening they feel trapped in their own bubble that they were born into internally or externally, what's one thing that you want them to hear right now?
Go find people. You need people.
Go find your
It,
tribe.
yeah. And just
Wow.
start small, take an art class, go to a Pilates class, go to the same dog park every day. Just go be around people.
That's beautiful. Thank
And
you.
if they're not the right people, go find different people.
Yeah.
you know?
Thank you. Perfect example of who you are, who today is. Thank you for being here, sharing you, showing us how to lead without pretending that you've already arrived. That's what this, I'd like to open the floor to the show being about all these different aspects of the same thing, the same type or the same persona of a person, but we all have this amazing facet of the diamond. And thank you for sharing your facet with us today.
Oh, thank you. You're welcome.
Awesome. 33 conversations exist for people who are becoming themselves in real time, letting go, waking up, and choosing connection in a new way, anyway. Just go out and be with some people today. Thank you. And we will see you all on the next conversation. Bye, guys.